Hey there everybody, Mazrock here, and by the light, we have Protection Paladin burfs, technically. I told someone in the comment section on the last video that we would call them burfs when they're buffs and nerfs, because I made that mistake in the last video. So this is going to be a pretty quick one. There's not a lot to this Wowhead article, but I am going to go through it, give my thoughts on it, but this isn't going to be a crazy long video, so please do like, comment, subscribe. 5k goal destroyed, 6k goal well on the way to being destroyed. Y'all are amazing, thank you so much. There's a Discord, Twitch, Teespring, and Patreon link down below. If you wish to do any of those things, you can do it down below. So yeah, alright. So Demon Hunter is Havoc based. I didn't read through them, but I want to go over the Paladin ones. There's also Priest, Rogue, and Warrior, but the Warrior is seemingly all arms based. So we'll kind of see how that works out. But Paladin, right off the bat, of Dusk and Dawn has been adjusted. So the way of Dusk and Dawn works is once you get to 5 holy power, you get a buff. Once you drop it down to 0, you get a different buff, and you want to maintain those buffs. So Blessing of Dawn now increases the damage and healing by 5%. It was 6, so very small nerf, but it still is a nerf. And but the duration was increased to 20 seconds, and that's what I want to focus on, as well as the Blessing of Dusk. The duration is now increased to 20 seconds. This was 15 seconds, so this is a 25% increase in the duration. This is going to allow it to be much easier to play around. Now, I personally have not been a big fan of the Of Dusk and Dawn playstyle at all on beta. I tried it a couple of times in keys, and I honestly did not like it at all. It's not my jam. But this actually kind of makes it a little bit more tempting, a little bit more sweet. Now, I don't think this is going to be the way that I'm personally going to go with Paladin, unless the difference is really, really crazy and you kind of have to. But I don't think you're going to have to. But this is going to make that playstyle a lot more fun to manage instead of being very hectic to manage. Seal of Order now increases the healing of Now increases the healing, and damage of, that was weird to say, of your holy power. Spending abilities by 8% was 10%, so this is a small 2% nerf during the Blessing of Dawn. So that the Seal of Order is down here. So what all got changed with that is this bottom left section right here. But this is the big one. So of Dusk and Dawn, this is all around the board for Ret, Protection, and Holy. But Protection, Word of Glory healing increase by 40% for Protection Paladins. That is big, because Word of Glory was just not doing enough. It felt not great to press after the 40% HP buff or whatever. It was really feeling lackluster. So this is really, really nice. And Light of the Titans healing increased by 40% as well. So if we go over to Light of the Titans, this is right next to the Improved Ardent Defender Blessing of Spell Warding node in the middle. So if you look here, Word of Glory heals for an additional X amount over 15 seconds. Increased by 50% if cast on yourself while you're inflicted by a harmful periodic effect. This here, the hot is nice, but 15 seconds is really, really long, and you're more than likely going to be overhealing quite a bit with this. But in periods of high rot damage, like high sustained incoming damage, where you're just constantly ticking, Light of the Titans could be really, really nice right now. But whenever I was testing it in beta, it was pretty much most of my overhealing. On anybody, it didn't really matter. This kind of 15 seconds is a long hot for how much this does, and you're almost never spending 15 total seconds below 100% health, especially in Mythic Plus, with how things kind of work out with your talents and things like that. But this could, in higher keys, end up being a decent play, because 40% is fairly big and very, very nice. But Word of Glory 40%. This is something that I have been disappointed in not seeing for the last week and a half. Whenever tuning's been released, I immediately went down to the Paladin section to see if this was getting done, and it just wasn't coming. So I know they were probably a little hectic on it. And if we look at like the Brewmaster buffs from the other day, it seems like they're very hesitant to increase the self-sustain of tanks anymore, so they just want to be very, very careful, and this seems like they knew they were gonna do a big buff, and they wanted to be slow and deliberate with it, but this is really, really nice. So that is it. Paladins rejoice, Protection Paladins rejoice. Have yourselves a good one. Thank you to my patrons for allowing videos like this to happen, and happy tanking, guys.